Hi, this is Francesco Rulli. I'm the CEO of Puerlo. I'm here with Jerome Hiquet. We met a couple of years ago. We were both board members of the Marketing Society in New York. Jerome is a seasoned CMO. Jerome, if you can share with us a little bit about your past and future work and business.
Yes. Hi, Francisco. Well, very glad to be here. So to go very quickly, after 20 years in executive role for brand like Club Med, Tough Mudder, and Formula E recently, I'm now advising and helping CEO, founders, or marketing leaders to create, scale, or reinvent in a way what I call the next generation of performing and purpose-driven businesses with an emphasis on strategy, marketing, commercial, and organizational tactics.
Very nice. Thank you. So, Jerome, we are in the middle of the COVID era, and hopefully we're approaching the post-COVID era. We'd like to know what's your perspective about the challenges, but also the opportunities of this period in our lives.
Well, I think for me, the first element that I would say is we are facing a quite unprecedented, what I call digital acceleration. And a lot of people are talking about digital transformation, and I'm saying it's true. I think it's more an acceleration. And recently, I've seen a few stats around how the e-commerce weight gained in 8 weeks more than in the last 10 years. That's very much something which is, for me, a big driver of acceleration and change, either in terms of e-commerce, social commerce, media investment, what I call virtual experiences. What we are doing right now, I think, is something which is going to change and going to be accelerated in terms of innovation. So digital acceleration is the first one. The second one, I think, is we were starting to go there. Now we are going to be there, is what I call the customer attention age, with one main currency, which is going to be the customer engagement. And that, for me, it's why the COVID-19 accelerated with few challenges. The first one, the attention span is lower and lower. Second, more than ever, platforms like Google, Amazon, Facebook, and so on are controlling the ecosystem as much in terms of data, as much in terms of media investment, in terms of attention. Third, I think we're going to see more and more differentiation per generation. I like the stats that I've seen recently about the fact that Gen Z are representing already 40% of citizens in Western country, but also 93% of the decision made in the household are influenced by them. So second point is kind of at customer attention situation. And the third one is a stronger, I think, focus on purpose. More than ever, I think brand will have to have a strong, what I call North Star, be more and more not only customer-led, but community-led. What does it mean is to be closer to grassroots, to our purpose, but also be more and more local. I think we're going to see a more hyper-local focus coming from now. And so I believe there are a lot of opportunities, but at the end, if I think about my background as CMO, I think the last point is I believe that the business leader are going to, for the next 18 months at least, going to be much more focused on the short term and be much more focused on performance-driven in order to justify any investment that you would have to do. So because of the financial constraints. So digital acceleration, customer attention, purpose, and short-term focus, I believe that's going to be the main trend that we're going to see for the next, hopefully very soon, post-COVID-19 era.
Thank you. And based on your perspective, where do you see the role of artificial intelligence specific to those new scenarios that you described?
Well, I think for me, artificial intelligence is a very fascinating world to cover the whole of data. And in fact, the main point for me is I look at data as a fuel of a business. If customer engagement is a currency, I think data is a fuel. And AI, for me, the AI cannot be disjointed and disconnected from 5G. I think the future, the combination of AI and 5G is what's going to create what a lot of experts call the fourth industrial revolution. And when I look at that, I think for me, the outcome from AI is going to be personalization, prediction, speed, and automation. But when I look at it, I like to try to look at it in a holistic way. So I look at three main dimensions. What does it mean for me as a business leader? My bet is we're going to see more and more what I call a new augmented human relationship with customers thanks to AI combined with VR, AR, personal assistants. And the second element as a business leader is I do believe more and more we would have to think our interaction with customer in 3D. What the customer wants in real life, what the customer will want in virtual life. I do believe in avatar and so on. And what will be the role of the digital assistants that each customer will have, Siri, Alexa, and so on. And in this context, AI is going to be very, very important because we will have not only to understand what Francisco thinks in his home, what Francisco thinks when he's discussing different form in digital world, but what his personal assistant going to think, because we're going to be more and more in potentially robot-to-robot decision based on how Francisco built them in a way. So that's going to be an interesting element. The second element for me is as a customer, I do believe we're going to see a lot of benefit from that in terms of personalization, automation, help to make some very basic decision in our life. But I think the third element, which is for me the more disturbing, intriguing, is as a citizen. I think AI going to raise very important challenge around data privacy and what I call societal interference, how we are managing election. I'm right now in the US, and I think it's a question that a lot of people are asking. And so in this context, at the end of the day, for me, AI is a very important element for the future. But in order to manage that quite well, I do believe that as human beings, we will have to develop more and more the soft skill elements, the emotional quotient, EQ, not only the IQ, because a lot of things are going to be automated. So it's going to change, I think, the way we have to collaborate, we have to educate, we have to lead as leaders. And I read this book recently from Yuval Harari, The 21st Lesson from the 21st Century, when he says that the future is going to be led by the 4C, curiosity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration. And I believe that this element is going to be very important in order to compensate how data is going to be able to artificially make decisions for us. So it's going to be an interesting era.
Indeed, indeed. And it's exciting for us also on a personal level. Where I took the role of the digital chief officer of the Opera del Duomo, and one of the ventures is actually the artificial intelligence of Michelangelo. And I have been brainstorming on how I can include parts of that into my own chatbot, as we were both, born in Tuscany. So,
but I think it's a very important point, because I believe I have this conviction that one day we're going to see again a concert from the Beatles.
Yes.
Why? Because the combination of AI, virtual experiences, 5G, and so on, we're going to be able to recreate that. So we can be scared about that, so we can be exciting about that. So I think Michelangelo will be able to interact with you very soon in a way that you cannot imagine. And that's in a way very, very exciting, as long as we can not lose our mind by seeing these kind of changes.
Definitely. And if people want to learn more about your work and your services, what's the best way to reach out to you?
They can reach me on LinkedIn. I think it's now the best way for everyone to do so. So happy to interact with everyone this way and to continue any discussion related to this, what I call customer attention, age, era, and AI being part of it.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Jerome.
Thank you very much.